I think it's recording.
I think
You guys think
so.
it's recording?
Okay, hi everybody. Today we're going to be learning how to make sigils. Here are a few examples. Some of them are more complicated. The ones that we're going to be making today are going to look more like the one on the bottom right. This one right here. Little geometric. Okay. So first, what are sigils? They're symbols that are made to represent any intention that you want. So a lot of common ones are like self-love, protection, good grades, I can study, stuff like that. You can use sigils that you make yourself, or you can find ones that have already been made on the internet. Like Tumblr, I used a lot that I found on Tumblr when I was younger. But I feel that ones that you make yourself will always be more personal and have more power. If you don't feel confident or you just don't know how to make sigils, you can also check our sigil channel in the Discord, because we have some that have been shared there by other members and are free to use. And I didn't want to change the picture, but there's that stock photo. So how do you make a sigil? First, you need to come up with an intention. It should be concise and have as little words as possible. It needs to be clear and in the present tense. So you'll want to avoid using words like I will be confident. You would say I am confident. So the intention that I'm going to use for the examples in this class are going to be I am protected. So a protection sigil. Once you have the intention, you can find so many different methods to actually create your sigil. The ones that I'm going to be showing is the phone pad method, which I don't know if I came up with it, but it's the one that I just use the most and makes the most sense to me. There's the wheel method and the double grid method. So these will all use charts to create your sigil. And the first one, the phone pad method, it uses a 3x3 grid with letters in all the boxes. So it kind of looks like an old typing pad on an old cell phone, like from the early 2000s. This one is really simple and quick, and I think it's most useful when you need a sigil right now. You need to make it immediately. All of the three methods that I'm going to show, they leave in the vowels on your attention. There are methods where they suggest that you take out the vowels to make it more simple, but it's really however you want to make it. You can leave them in or leave them out, whatever you want. So to start, you're going to write your intention. I am protected, and then you're going to take out any repeating letters. So there's 2 T's, you're going to take 1 T out, and you can see there's 2 E's, so you're going to take one of those out, and you're left with I am protected. Yeah. And then using this chart, you're going to map out all of your remaining letters. And I'm actually going to get out of presentation mode for this. Nope. So I can draw on it. Let's see.
You can draw on it using the zoom function.
There is?
Yeah. If you like go to the top or like the view menu.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Anyway, so you're gonna start on the I, so at number 3, and go across to A. Go down to N, and then down to the P. And for this one, when you have 2 letters that are in the same box, I'll just draw a little circle to show that it's another letter there. So that's for the R, and then to the O, and then T, E, C, and D. And this looks kind of it's not finished, obviously. It's kind of messy. It's not really like a sigil that you would think of. Let's see. Clear that. I like using one on power or slides, so I can copy and paste it. So I'm gonna redraw this and then a little circle. O T U C D. Copy. And so after you have completed the chart, you can play around with the lines and you can take some out, you can add some more, and just until you have a shape that you like. So I'm gonna play with this one. So if you're drawing along with this, you can go ahead and play with it a little bit. Let's see. How would I do this one?
I got this.
Ooh, yeah, the hourglass shape. Yeah, and if you want to share what yours looks like, feel free to turn on your camera and show it. I like adding curves to mine. So, whoop, a little bit. Maybe add another line. I like adding lines and stuff. Yeah. So something like that, maybe?
Okay, question.
Yes, question.
So the one that you just made is clearly not the same shape,
yes.
like the same lines as the one.
Mhm.
Like, how would you tell to do the certain, like,
when I'm looking at
do you
this
just keep it
shape,
the shape?
yeah, I kind of just look at how I don't know, my brain works.
There's like an
weird.
artistic thing.
Yeah, a lot. You can take a lot of artistic liberties with these. So if you don't have to stick with this shape, if it feels off or something, you can change it a little bit. Like there's 3 different lines up here at the top and it looks kind of messy. So I kind of just condensed it and made it like a curve going down, like right here, and then that's a little loop, and then going down to the circle. So it's not the same exact shape, it's kind of just evolving from this original shape.
So like the idea, like the sigil itself is because of the shape, the general intention that you got from the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is just how I do that. So
That's understandable.
Yeah. So if that doesn't make sense to you, you can absolutely just stick with the straight lines and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody want to show what theirs looks like?
I have one that's for like a similar purpose. It's actually I took some creative liberties with this. It's actually for my travel altar.
Oh, that's cool.
Used like 2 methods of doing the sigil. So this is basically phone method thing.
Yeah.
From like the website on the sigil like server, and I just basically did the same thing with this sigil here, which is like just an amalgamation of the letters together and forming a shape out of it. And
yes. And that's another really popular way of doing sigils. Yeah, of just taking all of your letters that come from your intention and making some shape with them. So, but we can do that in another class. Yeah. And that's it. Move on to the next one. So the wheel method, this uses like a wheel, a circle, and it has the entire alphabet around the design. And this one is best used with short intentions. So again, it started the exact same way. You write your intention, take out the repeated letters. You can also take out the vowels if you like. And then here's the chart. So with this one, it would start right here. Let's see, find the letters. Oh, that stuff covering it. B, C, and D. So for this one, this is very obviously a more complicated shape than the first one. So we can go back and leave out all of the vowels. So I, C, D. So that shape is a little bit more manageable to play around with. Can I copy this? Ah. So if we take this, there's a shape. So if we play around with that one a little bit. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna just stick with, oh my gosh, I know how to draw a star. Maybe add a few little lines. So put some dots. I like adding little, what are they called, like decorations to it almost. Something like that maybe, or box shape. Oh my goodness. Draw. Something like that. Yep. Yeah. Does anybody else want to show the drawing? Does anybody have questions? No? Okay. So for the wheel method, since like with the protection intention I used, it has a lot of letters in it. So I think this one would be best used with single word intentions, like simply using protection or love, something like that. So you don't get such a complicated shape that you don't really know what to do with. Oh. Anna said it looks like they're untying sigil. I love that. Okay. There we go. Oh no. Clear. Alrighty. And then the last one. Oh, that's so cute. That was really cool. Oh, I love that. The last method is the double grid method, and this uses two different charts. One with letters and columns that are assigned a number 1 through 9, and then another 3x3, similar to the phone pad chart one. So this one started the exact same way. Write your intention, and then take out any of the repeated letters, and then take out vowels if you also want to. Nope. The chart. This larger chart is the first one, the letter chart. So you would take your letters and take note of which numbers they are under. Yeah, so use the letter chart to make a sequence of numbers, and then you would take those numbers and use the number chart to draw the actual sigil. So for this one, let's see. We start with 9, and 1, and 4, 7, 9 again, 6, 2, and 5, 3, and then 4. So that one's a little bit long. So you can take out the vowels, of course, make it a little bit more easier to do. So with this sequence, we're gonna use this number chart to draw the sigil. So start at number 9, connect to the 1, 4, all the way down to 7, 9 again, to 6, then 2, 5, 3, and 4. And we have the shape. Also a little geometrical, a bunch of triangles, almost star shapes. And then with this one as well, if you have numbers that 2 of the same number right after each other, you would just draw a circle to show the second number. Let's see. Yeah, and then clean up the shape a little bit. Let's see. Maybe we can keep a big triangle. Like that. Maybe not make the lines as long. Maybe some dots, some more lines on it to make it look pretty. Curves, geometry. Yeah, and so this is what we're left with. Okay. Let's see. Using these charts, does somebody want to show what they've drawn? It doesn't have to be like this intention. It could be another one as well. Or does anybody have any questions?
What are some other styles of sigil creation that you've seen, especially like rarer methods?
Rarer methods? I have seen some from witches who are like artists, and they don't use like charts or letters or anything like that. They just go off of what comes to their mind. That's a little bit more rare. I think I have other examples somewhere. Yeah, so stuff like this, like the Midsummer, Mabon, those are a little bit more artistic and don't really follow any kind of method. A really, really common one that's not rare is just breaking down the lines of the letters and using those lines to create the shape. Not using any charts or anything. Just
May I add?
yeah.
So I guess one of the rarer ways of creating sigils would be using baybayin, right?
Yes. Oh my
So,
gosh,
like,
yes.
Specific to Filipinos. So yeah, that like there are so many different ways to use baybayin as sigil. So yeah, just adding that.
Yeah. Could you go more into how you would do that? Like, do you break up the lines or anything, or do you just use the characters and put them together?
Yeah, so wait a minute, I'll share my. So I have a few that I like use. I'll just draw on one of the on a blank page, so it's like not the messy one.
Mm-hmm.
So I would sort of kind of like the way you would script where you connect the letters,
Mm-hmm.
but like I connect them in a way that's like going down as much as possible because like that's how we used to write baybayin.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let me just get a piece of. So, for example, saya, like a happy. Yeah, so happiness, for example, saya would be, I don't know if it's seen. So this is sa and ya, and then when you just connect them, they sort of just do that. So this is the sigil. That's it.
Oh wow. Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, so that's all I would do. I would sort of just take a word that's
Mhm.
so like for example protection. I remember Eco made a protection sigil using baybayin that was like tanggol. He used the word tanggol, which is like defend. So like
Mhm.
is like protection. So he used the word tanggol and he turned it into baybayin and then put it together sort of the same way.
Mhm.
So I would like take a sort of word that's as short as possible in Tagalog and just turn it into baybayin and then turn the baybayin into a sigil. That's
Mhm.
basically. So yeah.
Wow. So cool. Yeah. This sigil I created, for my Ninuno candle, I literally just took the letters in Ninuno, not in Babayan, and kind of made a little design of them. Oh, this page is really messy. Oh my gosh. My Ninuno. So, it has like the circle, and you can see like the N, the U, and the I, and yeah, kind of like that. Let's see, there's some questions. Flynn asked, could any symbol that means something of significance to us be used as a sigil, like a doodle of a heart for self-love? Yes. It's the intention that you put behind it and the energy that goes into the design. So really anything, any design that you create could be a sigil. Let's see, and Lex, see, the table method reminds me of the Kabbalah of the Nine Chambers. Ooh. The Kabbalah, where the 22 letters are put in each of the 9 whole numbers and like the sigils drawn in place. Yes. Wow. There's also a wheel method that uses Hebrew letters. That's so cool. And so once you've, moving on, sorry. Once you've found the shape that you really like and you're done with it, now what do you do with it? So once you've finished creating your sigil, you can use it however you see fit, really, in your craft or in your daily life. Some really common ones are putting it, drawing it on paper, small enough to fit inside of a spell bottle or a sachet or a sachet. You can also just write it on any surface that you want to have the effects on it. So like if you have a journal that you don't want anybody reading, you could have a privacy sigil written on the inside of that one. You can sew it into the hem of your clothes. You can also write it in ink on yourself, like the self-love one that Flynn mentioned earlier. Instead of writing on a paper and holding it all day, you can just write it like on your arm and have it right there. You can also keep it inside of a locket or any small container just to keep with you while you walk around and go about your day. But you don't have to keep it around. Burning it, the paper, is a really good way to charge the sigil, and those ashes from it, you can dispose of them if you don't want to use them, or you can put them in a spell. And there are lots of different ways to charge sigils. Drawing it, of course, putting the energy into it is charging it. You can burn it. Some people, they do it with water. Yeah, just however you put energy into a spell, you can also put into the making of your sigil. And then over here are some other examples of sigils. So these three methods that I showed you are what I think is the most simple if you're just starting out with sigil making. But once you get more comfortable, you can start looking at other methods and getting more intricate, like these ones right here. It's all up to your artistry and what you want to do with it. Oh, hello. Oh, yes. So all of the examples that I put in, they do have links to where I got them from. So if you want to look at those, and you can look for more sigils. I'm pretty sure they're all from Tumblr. Let's see. And then I did add all of the blank charts at the end. So I know some people like to print all of the presentations and put them in their grimoires. So you can print these, you can make copies and just use them however you want. And that is it. Just a very short class. I don't want to keep y'all too long. Does anybody have any questions or want to share a sigil that they've made? Hi, Iko.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Cyan.
Oh, there's actually a really interesting method of charging a sigil that I once read.
Yeah.
Libernaut's Psychonaut, I think, that chaos magic book. You draw a sigil on a piece of paper, but the weird thing is that you throw it out and you completely forget about it. Like you don't think about the sigil at all, and somehow charging the sigil, sort of like
Interesting.
yeah. I was also really confused about that. Although
Yeah,
like it was really like, you know, something that you can like, it's hard to believe that you can like intentionally forget something, but you know, trying it once, it's actually quite easy to forget something, or maybe that's
yeah.
ADHD. Although what I usually just do is just burn the sigil, and I found that that's actually really effective. Some of my manifestations are coming true, so like, you know.
Oh, that's awesome. Does anybody have any other questions or comments?
I would actually say that a really interesting sigil that works for a lot of witches that you might want to incorporate into your craft, literally creating a sigil dedicated to helping your spells manifest. It kind of gives your spells a little bit of an edge towards manifesting easier. So if you're interested in that, I'd consider creating one. So
Thank you for that tip. Oh, yes, Iko says charging sigils with music is also really cool. Really good.
How would one actually do that? I'm charging them with music.
Oh,
Like how would one go about that?
you can just like for me, and I think if Kai is here, Kai also does it. Just
Hi.
playing the music. Hi, Kai. Just playing the music. So like however you want to, and that will charge the sigil itself. Like having the intention while you're playing music, and you can just play
Yeah.
like the like your Spotify playlist as well, like whatever one you want. Like one with having what's it called? I'm sorry. My brain forgot
I
words.
think what you're talking about are like the intention playlists, like songs for certain things. Like for example, if
Mm.
you're manifesting like love, then you play mostly like happy love songs or like, you know, things like that. Um, if you're interested in music magic though, like I have a class on that soon, so
Yes.
you can head to that if you'd like. Yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely going to that class. It's kind of hard to find any information about music magic really on the internet.
Yeah.
Another thing
Another,
I found, like, oh, sorry.
you can go ahead, Zion.
Okay. Sorry. Another common thing I found, like, witches do is like they would write their sigils on bay leaves because, like, supposedly it's like the correspondence is like, you know, something like making your wishes come true or manifesting things. So yeah, that's also a really
You
common
can
thing.
do it on any leaf, and it's a good
Yes. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
don't have to make
burning
your
a sigil
sigil
on a
just on
leaf.
paper. I know when people lock their mirrors, they will write a protection sigil in water on the mirror. So it just kind of disappears and that charges the sigil as well. So yeah.
Damn.
Uh,
That's cool.
There, like for maybe more intermediate witches that like I personally do this because I find that it works the best. It's using your own energy, so like energy work to charge yourself. Sometimes like I started out by just meditating with my like meditating for like a good 5 minutes for like my wards, my sigils. That's like something that you could do. There will be a class soon about energy work. You know,
Shameless self promos.
no? So yeah, you can definitely just like use your own energy to charge your sigils.
Yep, absolutely. Were there any other questions? Any last comments before I stop this recording?
Hello. I dropped some comments in the chat
Yes.
earlier, for some additional resources on
I'm
Super
gonna
Magic,
copy these.
particularly Austin Osman's Pairs texts on it, and some of the Chaos Magic books on that. Particularly for us to do these two, I actually started there.
Oh, awesome.
That book also includes instructions on how to charge your sigils, stuff like that. But yeah, it's a fantastic book.
Hey, thank you for sharing those, Lex.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and put those in resources later.
Sure.
I think we're good. Thank you all for coming.
I think that's it. Thank you guys for coming. Our next class will be on let's check. Sacred self-care. So that's on Friday. Class Thursday. So feel free to come. And then after that we have a Tagalog and Visayan deities and music magic on the weekend.
Yes.
So
Yes. Make
thank
sure
guys
you
for
check
coming.
announcements.
Make sure to check announcements. Thank you, Kuya Ray, for making. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thanks
We're
for your
gonna.
class.
Of
Thank you, everyone.
course.
We're gonna go to VC now if anyone wants to just chat and stuff. But yeah, also good night to y'all in the Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.